Welcome to the Kingdom Corner. This is a brand new episode brought to you by Oh Hey Threads. And today with me is Tyson. Man, my good friend Tyson of many, many, many years. Dale was unable to be with us today, but Tyson so graciously decided to bless us with his presence here in this video and on this podcast. So Tyson, appreciate you being here.
Absolutely, man. Love it.
All right. Well, today we're going to be previewing the Chiefs game against the Bengals. Talking about, man, how well does Burrow and Mahomes compare to each other? Man, what are the Bengals doing? I mean, they lost to the Patriots. Are they going to be struggling all year? And we're also be hitting a trivia question of what player in the Chiefs history holds the most reception in Chiefs history. So stick with us and we'll jump into this.
Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown! Kansas City. The game is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions.
How about those Chiefs?
All right. Well, let's jump into this. Tyson, it's only one game into the season. We had a nail biter or maybe a toe biter, if you want to call it that way, against the Ravens, barely pulling that out. But what do you think are the expectations for the Chiefs after just one game into the season?
Man, just looking at that game, all I could think about was having like PTSD from number 74.
Oh
Taylor.
man.
Just like, dude,
Yeah.
just don't jump early. Stop it. We cannot do this against the Ravens.
Dude, he's in mid-season form already. So
Yeah. So I think the penalties, we had like I think 7 penalties. So I think they'll clean those up, just like they do. It took Taylor a while last year, but I also think they picked on him a little bit
oh yeah.
last year too. So I'm hoping they'll clean those up because those really hurt us. It's amazing how Mahomes can have 3rd and 15, and I'm like, he's got it. Other teams, it's like, oh, so I think that'll be cool. And I think stretching the field. I think we're
Yeah.
so excited to see that again. And I think we can truly do that, stretching the field through play action. Because
Mm.
you've got, hear this, you got to fear the pop. Do you know that's the
Yeah.
from high school? Fear the pop. That's what people call him, pop, because of how
Yeah.
hard it hits people. And so I think expectations going forward, man, use those awesome running backs we have, and then oh my goodness, you've got to fear Xavier. I mean, people are like 2 touchdowns. Everyone despises the Bills because they gave them to us.
I mean, what do you really think if you're a Bills fan? You brought that up. What do you really think if you're a Bills fan, knowing that you gave the Chiefs the pick for Mahomes, and now you gave the Chiefs the pick to get Xavier Worthy? I
Yeah,
mean,
just very loving people,
yeah, very giving. They got the love of Jesus
I
all over them.
appreciate it, appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's a tough thing for them. And it's not like it was in the 5th round or 6th round or something.
Yeah, these are
Crazy.
both first rounders. So
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
yeah, I mean, I think if I was a Bills fan, I'd be thinking, what is this front office doing, man? I mean, they
But
keep giving the Chiefs all these players. We could have had Mahomes, we could have had Xavier Worthy, and I mean, they got a great quarterback too in Josh Allen. But
well,
this
and
is a
I got to give them props for the other day because I was ripping them a new one online about the Dolphins are going to destroy you. Because I have a friend that's a huge Bills fan since I was like in 4th grade, and he's
yeah.
all oh, and I was like, dude, he's got no one to pass to. They just destroyed the Dolphins, and I'm like, darn it, they're right back to where they were.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's not get too far off on the Bills because we could spend all episode doing that. But let's jump into this game a little bit about the Bengals coming up this Sunday afternoon. Once again, an Arrowhead. So 2 home games in a row. I'll take it, but 2 tough games to start with against the Ravens and the Bengals. So Mahomes and Burrow, when they've matched up over their careers, Mahomes is only 1-3 against Burrow. That one victory coming in that AFC Championship game just a few years ago for the 2022 season. So, not great history for Mahomes at least, but all these games have been decided by 3 points or fewer. So that
Yeah.
should be at least somewhat encouraging, knowing that all these games are close.
I've never understand the Burrowhead thing, and then it's like, oh, we own you. I mean, the games have been just like tight ropes, man. It's not
Yeah,
like they've been blowing us out. So yeah, they just doesn't make sense. I mean, they're not. I mean, they were 23rd in running last year, so they have the pass. So I feel like if the Chiefs just stop the pass,
yeah,
now of course you say that, and then all of a sudden they have a great game running. But I just don't think Burrow's all that mobile. compared to like, Lamar. So I think
Yeah.
just stop the pass, man. And then they had a ton of turnovers last week. I'm hoping they gift us that again. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
I
Just
would
like the
take
Bills.
it. I would take it. Yeah. And I don't understand why Bengals fans, not fans even, players, they keep giving the Chiefs and Mahomes just some motivation for all these games. Like, it seems like they keep talking about, when they said like Burrowhead and things of that
Yeah.
nature, like they keep giving, like, Mahomes doesn't need any more motivation, but
Mhm.
they keep giving it to him. Like just this week, the defensive back for the Bengals, Taylor-Britt, said this about Xavier Worthy. He said, "Well, he's fast, but he said exact quote here, but he can't do too much else." I
Except
mean,
score touchdowns. Except
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, I know he's a rookie. He's only had one game,
Mhm.
but
And
even
he
so,
scored 2 touchdowns
yeah, two
in his
touchdowns on
rookie
three
game.
touches. Well, I mean, let's not just say that he can't do anything. I mean, yes, he's fast. He can run past people and score touchdowns too. So I just don't get it. I don't get why Bengals players would do that. But in fairness, Burrow did say leading up to this game too, he did say Mahomes was like one of one. So he was giving Mahomes his props too. So
Mhm.
maybe at least if no one else, Burrow's at least learning, hey, we don't need to give these guys any motivation because they seem to bring it every time.
Yeah. Yeah. They're also playing at Arrowhead. So
Yeah.
I feel like that just brings a whole nother thing. I think the Chiefs were coming off a win, but if anybody watched that game, you know that it was not like a win where we were like, yeah, we were like, no, yeah, like to the very last inch. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they take that in this week, saying, hey, man, we got to play better. Because
Yeah.
the Bengals, they're going to bring it. I mean, they just got beat by the Patriots.
Yeah.
They're going to be bringing it. And so I think the Chiefs, Reed is really good. Coach Reed, he's really good at getting them ready for these big games. And if we can go 2-0 against these two teams, that is huge at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. That is really big. Yeah. And so they're talking about the Bengals game coming up here. And so the Bengals, you just mentioned they lost against the Patriots last week to start their season, but the Bengals seem to always start slow for whatever reason. Like their first two, three, 4 games they start slow every year since Burrow's been there. They've never started strong, but they usually end really strong. And
Mhm.
so that brings me to this question. I was looking at some preseason stuff. I was like, man, did they play very much? And like Burrow only attempted 7 passes in the preseason, which means he's out there at least a little bit, but not very much. And Mahomes attempted about 20, so I mean almost 3 times the amount.
Yeah.
So do you think that preseason matters that much for stars or even your starters?
I think this is a great question, man. And I got two things about it. First, as a fan, um, they already didn't it used to be 5 preseason games, and now it's 3.
Well, I know it used to be 4. Maybe way
So
back in the day it was
I
5, but I
might
know
be
it used to
wrong,
be
but what I'm
4.
saying is I wish the NFL would mandate that the starters have to play at least 1 quarter in each game because it kind of lets it off on the coaches. Coaches have to play them for at least 1 quarter, unless they're
Yeah.
hurt, or something like that. Um, because as a fan, I took my kids in their first, preseason game. Back in the day, I went to preseason games, man. I got like $35 on the 50-yard line because none of the starters are playing. I was like, this is awesome. I was on TV for a second.
Yeah.
Man, this year when I went to preseason, it ain't no $35. It's
Yeah.
the struggle we
Yeah.
have champions, but I think as a fan, it would be nice to see them. Man, I was there at the Bears game. Man, that whole stadium was full for,
Yeah.
for a game with no starters. So I think as a fan, it would be good to see them. As a player, I think it's great. And I think, man, they really don't play full contact a lot at practices anymore. And so,
Yeah.
understand they got to get those guys, those third stringers and second stringers, fourth stringers, whatever stringers, some playing time. But yeah, I think they got to play more in the preseason because it shows in the first couple games.
Yeah, and that's what I think too. I think like the Chiefs do as good of a job as anybody, which is why Andy Reid has such a stellar record to start the season. I think in his time with the Chiefs, which is man, it's been like 11 or 12 years now. I think he's lost 2 games to start the season, and he's won every other game. And that's because
Yeah.
Andy Reid is under the mindset that his starters are going to play at least a little bit in the preseason. Like I
Yeah.
totally get you got to have those other guys play because you want to see who else is going to make your team. Who's
Hmm.
going to be your backups? Who's going to be able to back up Mahomes and Travis
Hmm.
Kelce and some of these other guys? Yeah, so I think it does the league a disservice at large to not play your starters at least a little bit because then they come in kind of like the Bengals did, and they come in really slow and kind of take them a while to kind of even get going.
Yeah.
Whereas the Chiefs come in, I'm not saying that they're where they want to be either, but they come in a lot further ahead than some of the other teams.
Well, like, look at the Bears. They had a rookie quarterback and they sat him the whole last preseason game. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me? That
I don't
guy
think I do
needs
that.
reps, and he definitely needs reps. That
Yeah,
first game was brutal. So yeah, I think if the league came out and said something like that, it kind of lets the coaches off the hook of fans being mad at them, and then I think the players would be okay with it too. I mean, just one quarter,
well,
because
you say
they're
that. I don't know if they would be, honestly, because
yeah,
I
they
think
would. They
that those
would.
players, they're so concerned about injuries, which I get. It's a
They're
very
still getting
physical
paid.
sport. Yeah, they are.
I don't get paid when I get hurt. I ain't getting no pay. I mean, a handyman side, I don't get no pay. Yeah,
True,
I mean
true
they're
point.
competitors, and it is entertainment. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
it is entertainment, and people are
yeah,
paying good money to go to those preseason games.
yeah.
Although watching some of those third stringers is a blast too, because it's wild.
Man, those guys play with so much heart. Even if they don't have the same amount of talent as some of the other guys, the heart that they play with is really good. So,
Yeah,
what about this? So, talking about all these other things leading up to the game, what do the Chiefs have to do to win this game?
I kind of talked about a little bit, but I think just focus on that pass. I mean, that's what they have. They don't have a strong running game. They
Yeah,
got rid of
especially
their
since they lost Joe Mixon.
exactly. And so, you got to be aware of it. I think they need to put Bolton in a better position than they did last week. He had a kind of a rough week.
Yeah,
Um,
him lined up against a tight end is not a
yeah, put
well,
him in a
him in
better
pass
position
coverage at all is not
because
a
that
good
guy,
scenario.
that guy is awesome. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
believe any of the naysayers. You just have to put him in a position he's going to excel at, and I think they will
yeah,
because they've done that in the past. And
yep,
so, on defense wise, you got to do that. On offense, I think you just keep the same script, man. Uh, Throw downfield, make people afraid of the Mahomes bomb again, like because they were not afraid last year.
no,
We were just afraid of watching people drop balls right in front of us. Like that's. But this year, spraying that out, and I think just start with the run. Start with the run. Let Pacheco just run people over for the first 3 or 4 plays. See what happens. So yeah, I think
yeah,
just keep the same script, but take what that defense gives you, and then take advantage of the Bengals right now. They do not look like where they're going to be. And this is an important game for them, like huge. This could be a big deal for them.
yeah. And on your same point, I agree with a lot of that too. I think that Pacheco can have a huge game. The Patriots ran all over the Bengals in this last game, and the Patriots are not known for their offense. They're known for their defense. And I know it's a new coach for the Patriots this year, so we don't really know who they're going to be. But based on the players they acquired and everything else, there's still supposed to be a pretty strong defensive team and not offensive team, yet they ran the ball all over the Bengals. And
Hmm.
so I think it's a good point. But I think some of the keys of this game too is the Chiefs have got to stop the Bengals pass rush, especially that
Yeah.
new rookie left tackle's in there. I know he did okay against the Ravens,
Yeah.
but Mahomes helped them out a lot too by just trying to get rid of the ball quickly. And
Hmm.
with the Bengals, though, they got a great defensive line, and so you're not going to have as easy of a time against these pass rushers with the Bengals as you did against the Ravens. And no disrespect to the Ravens players. I mean, they're NFL players, so hats off to them. But
Yeah.
they got to be able to stop that pass rush. And on the flip side, I think they have to be able to put pressure on Joe Burrow. To your point, they like to pass the ball. So how do you stop a passing game where the quarterback doesn't necessarily run that well? You get pressure on him, right? It's
Hmm.
the same thing as it's been. So, and the one game that they've won against the Bengals in the Mahomes and Burrow era, the one game they won, they were able to consistently get pressure on Burrow. All
Yeah.
the other games, they've got pressure here and there, but not consistently. And so,
Hmm.
I think it is important to get pressure on Burrow for them to come out with the win here.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And, take advantage of the fact that this is the beginning of the year and the Bengals are going to be better, like you said. They're
Yeah.
going to be better like 10 games from now.
Oh
But
yeah.
right now, they're still trying to find themselves. And I feel like the Chiefs have found it. I mean, it's like we just started from the playoffs last year and the Super Bowl. We're just going.
Yeah.
And so don't change the script, just keep it going. And yeah, I think that benefit, we've got to block, and I think running the ball is going to help with that.
Yeah.
Establish that run. Blockers love running. When I was a blocker, I love running plays. I don't have to go backwards. I just get to run people over. And so, yeah, do it.
Yeah, for sure. That's all going to be good things right there. So, what's your score prediction? Right now, the line is they're saying the Chiefs are favored by about 5.5 to 6 points, depending on where you look.
I actually thought about this for a while. I thought about, doing a blowout because they're not doing it. But you know what? It's probably going to be close. So I'm at
Yeah.
27 Chiefs, 24 Bengals. I think that's there's some field goals in there. But I think the Bengals are going to figure out a little more this week. I think getting beat by the Patriots like that, they're going to come with a little bit of fire.
Hey, I don't disagree with almost anything you just said there. I mean, if you're watching video, you saw I might have reacted a little bit to your score here. And the reason is because that's the exact score I have written down here is the Chiefs 24, Chiefs 27, Bengals 24. I mean, these games just come down the wire every time they play.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
Bengals, they get up for these games. The Chiefs, they get up for these games. Both
Mhm.
people, even if they haven't hit their stride yet, they're all going to be giving their best effort. They know this game might have implications for playoff standing, so you're going to get everyone's
Right.
best effort. So I think, just like you, I almost want to change my score because it's the same as yours, but I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah, because if
Chiefs
one of us wins, it's like, could be the other way around.
could be, yeah. So Chiefs 27, Bengals 24. So, but that leads to this next part. So this is something new for this year. We did with Dale last week leading to the game. So this new segment we got here, a little bit of Chiefs trivia and a little bit of history as
Mhm.
well. So Tyson, I hope you got your thinking cap on for this
Oh,
for this. So
okay.
honestly, it's probably not too difficult, but maybe. So we'll find out. So
All right.
all right, so here's the question. What player holds the Chiefs record for the most receptions in Chiefs history with 916 receptions?
I want to say Tony. I want to say Tony.
Are you locking it in? Is it Tony?
Oh, but I know it. I feel like Tony or Kelsey. I gotta go with my man Tony. Tony Gonzalez.
You're correct. It is Tony
Oh,
Gonzalez.
yes.
Well
You hear
done,
that,
sir.
Tony? Send me something signed.
That's
Ah,
right. We'll add it to the wall right behind you there.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, but hey, it's not very far. So Tony has 916 catches.
Mhm.
Kelsey has 910.
Oh,
So it's
gosh.
possible
Yeah.
that that Kelsey could pass Tony in the
Absolutely. Yeah.
game this Sunday. Even he needs
Mhm.
6 to tie, 7 to get ahead. So
Yeah.
let's give a little bit of history on Tony because I mean you can't not love Tony, right? So
He's
a little
awesome.
Chiefs history for you here. Feel free to jump in anytime, share any thoughts you have on him. But a few just numbers for you real quick. So this is only from Tony's numbers with the Chiefs right here. So when Tony was with the Chiefs, he had 916 receptions, 10,940 yards, and 76 touchdowns. So
Man.
Kelsey in comparison, 910 receptions, so just 6 behind, but Kelsey has the most yards receiving in Chiefs history with 11,362 and
Mhm.
74 touchdowns. So he's only 2 touchdowns behind Tony Gonzalez. So once again, possible
Crazy.
he could tie or get ahead if he has a big game this Sunday as well. So in comparison, to show how much better Tony Gonzalez and Travis Kelsey are compared to the rest of the Chiefs receiving core. And in fairness, I don't feel like the Chiefs have had a lot of really great receivers in their history. They've had a lot of great running backs in their history.
Especially for Tony, man. I felt bad
Yeah,
for that guy so many years. Hall of
yeah,
Famer.
yep,
Just
for sure.
never really winning playoff games. Get in the playoffs.
I know. Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be rough. I mean, the season that they went, I think they started out 9-0 with Trent Green and Tony
yeah.
Gonzalez and Priest Holmes, and I mean
Mhm.
they had a stacked team and lost in the first round of the playoffs. So
Oh,
yeah, it's so disappointing.
oh, we got to remember that. That keeps us thankful, man.
I
Like,
know.
because like now people are like Mahomes in the playoffs. Mahomes used to be the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, they'd be
goodness.
like, wait, did the Chiefs ever make the playoffs? It's like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, they just don't win, but they make it. So,
yeah.
but in comparison, the number 3 reception leader has 532, so almost 400 receptions behind, and it's Dwayne Bowe. The third in yards for receptions is one of the older guys, Otis Taylor from the
Oh,
Super Bowl IV team, right? So he
okay.
has 7,306 yards in third place. And so I put those numbers out just to show how great Tony Gonzalez, and even in comparison, how great Travis Kelce is. These two are just all-time greats.
It's just
Uh,
amazing.
yeah. And so Tony Gonzalez, you might know this too, but Tony Gonzalez actually played two sports in college at California. Do you know what other sport he played?
Basketball, right?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So
That's
him,
right.
like, yep, yep.
He
There's several.
dunking that football on that field goal.
That's right. That's
They had to
why
make
he
a
did
rule
it.
against him.
That's right. So every time he scored a touchdown, he used to dunk the football over the goalpost, and just in representation of his basketball career when he used to play, and just a nod to that. And so now can't do that because too many people did, and they mess up the field goal post and knocked them off balance. They're like, okay, no more of that. It takes too long to reset them, and
That's right.
so I get it, I guess. So here's some of his basketball numbers from college. So I thought it was pretty interesting. In in college, he made 51% of all of his field goal attempts. So 51% of the time he made the ball, he shot it. That is incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty
Most
good.
guys are around 30 to 40%. He's
Mhm.
51%. Now in comparison, he did not shoot the ball all that much. He only averaged a little over 6 points a game.
Mhm.
But he is a forward, so kind of like your LeBron James kind of position, where a big man, he might have it on the wing a few times, but for the most part, he's a big man playing down low.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Tony Gonzalez was well, let's see. Do you know what pick he was in the 1997 draft by the Chiefs?
Oh goodness.
It might be hard if you don't know, but he's the number 13th overall pick in the first round.
I did
So
not know that. That's good for him. I mean, that was a good pick.
yeah, very good pick from the Chiefs part. So he played for 17 seasons in the NFL. He's the uh, all-time leader in catches, yards, and touchdowns by a tight end by the time he retired. So as we
Damn.
just mentioned, Kelsey is kind of passing him, and Gronk and some of these others might pass him too. I'd have to go back and look, but when he retired, he was the leader for catches, yards, and touchdowns by a tight end. So
Mm, that's
uh,
crazy, man.
yeah, it was
And we
great.
get to
So
see him on Thursday nights.
that's right. Now he's on
That's
TV.
right.
So way to go, Tony G. So he made 14 Pro Bowls in his career, and he made 7 first team All Pros as well as 4 second team All Pros. So in his 17 years, 11 of those years, he was an All Pro, which is incredible.
Dang.
Incredible thing to
Why
note
didn't
there.
that's why I wasn't upset with him when he went to the Falcons, because I was like,
Yeah.
the dude just wants to win a playoff game or two. It was sad to
Well,
see him go,
I'm not
but
going to say I wasn't upset, but I understood it. As a Chiefs fan, it's like, oh,
I mean, those were
why
some
are they
rough
trading him
years, man.
away? Like he didn't just
Yeah,
go. The Chiefs traded him away, and I couldn't believe it.
yeah, that
Couldn't
was
believe
yeah.
it.
Hmm.
So yeah, other than his rookie year, he never caught less than 59 passes in a season. Um, and during his career, and he surpassed 80 catches in the season 8 times. So pretty good.
That's
So
awesome.
then, as you pointed out, he got traded to the Ravens sorry, not the Ravens, the Falcons for a second round pick. And then when he was with the Falcons, the first time he won a playoff game, made it to the NFC Championship game, but couldn't quite get to the Super Bowl. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's the one thing I wish we could have done for Tony Gonzalez to help him get a Super Bowl. I mean,
I
all-time
know.
great player. Now he's in the NFL Hall of Fame, and I'd
Hmm.
love to see him get a ring at some time in his career.
But he got to be there on the sideline with the Chiefs with Kelsey that first Super Bowl, and like
Yeah,
seeing them hug was the coolest thing ever.
that was
Like,
yeah.
they're just hugging, and I think Kelsey was like crying, and Tony was so happy for him, and I was like, Tony, you deserve a ring too.
I know he does. So for his entire career between the Chiefs and the Falcons, he had over 1,300 catches, over 15,000 yards, and 111 touchdowns. So
Mm.
pretty incredible. He played 270 regular season games and only missed one game in his 17-year career. That's
One
incredible right
game,
there. One game. It's only,
one game.
yep.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. He
It ain't
also,
like today, man. You could like hit people any way you wanted
oh,
back
yeah.
then.
Yeah. And he also still holds the record for the most consecutive games with a reception with 211 games in a row. So,
Goodness,
what an incredible career that he's had.
that's just amazing. That's just amazing, man.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Gonzalez, for those fans that grew up, in the late 90s, but especially like the early 2000s, I mean, he was like the icon symbol for the Chiefs was Tony Gonzalez. Like just having him on your team and being a fan of the Chiefs. What a great player to cheer for, and so wish him nothing but the best.
Did Kelsey get to play with him? Like, did he come in when Tony was still there?
No,
It's like
Tony
3 or 4 years
Gonzalez
later.
Tony Gonzalez was already gone by the time that
Gotcha.
Kelsey came along. So
If he just would have stayed with the Chiefs.
yeah, if he would have stayed with the Chiefs his whole career, I think their paths would have crossed just for a year or two. But
Yeah.
not quite so. So.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for joining us this episode of the Kingdom Corner. Make sure you do this. I need you, if you love this, or even if you don't love it, I want you to do it anyways. So that's just how we roll. I want you to like this episode. I want you to subscribe to this podcast. I want you to comment. I want you to leave a review. All those things just help us get this out to more and more Chiefs fans all over the world. So we
Right.
so enjoy being able to talk Chiefs with y'all. We'd love for you to join us in these conversations and be a part of this community that we're building here together. So thanks for all you listening and doing that. So, but make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and leave a review. That's the thing that helps us the most. So this episode is brought to you by Oh Hey Threads, and Oh Hey Threads is a t-shirt company, makes super soft t-shirts and hoodies, and all their stuff and their proceeds go to support missions all over the world. So you can find them online at ohheythreads.com and buy yourself a super soft Chiefs hoodie, or maybe a Kingdom Corner t-shirt or hoodie there too.
That's
So
right.
thanks for joining us in this episode. We'll see you next time right here in the Kingdom Corner.
All right.